Okay. I had a whole, introduction that I was going to say, and it was on my mind, but then I lost it, and here we are. We could have watched so many different movies or shows that are out right now. Like, we could have watched the new Jackass, or I could have just been watching the new season of Attack on Titan, but no. You know what we did instead? We wasted 2.5 hours of our lives, and you know what we spent those hours doing?
It was actually just 2 hours.
Oh, you know what we spent 2 hours doing?
Oh, like 2.5.
Watching Moonfall. So, without further ado, welcome back to MediaMix, your stop for your media fix.
That was corny when he said it.
I like it better when Zach says it.
Then have Zach
Welcome back
okay.
to MediaMix for your media fix.
Oh, yeah. I feel it now.
Switcher, you might want to,
I'm hyped.
do your job.
Sorry about the.
Do it again.
To our
Do it
audio
again.
listeners
Do it
with headphones.
It'll all be equalized in the end. Just us.
Yeah, I mean,
We're the only ones who are suffering.
There's a ton of energy here just because of we all hated our lives
Actually, I didn't.
during this.
So this is what's so great about MediaMix is because it's always somebody always in our group, and that somebody is usually me, always has a different opinion. And my opinion was,
what is your name?
I'm Jack.
His goal is
Just
always to
remember
just
that,
be
ladies and
alone
gentlemen.
on the
Jack
podcast.
liked this movie.
I'm not gonna say I love this movie, but I thought it was a pretty decent movie. Like it wasn't like the story was very patchy, but
Okay.
I'll get into it like why
I
I kind
hope
of
you
like
were
the movie
prepared
later on. I mean,
to receive onslaughts of flack.
okay, so I did
and
write down.
attacks
I
from
wrote
both
down
me and
like
Zach.
I wrote down like a bunch of bad stuff that I found about the movie, but I also have some good stuff in it. So it might seem like I mostly hated it, but I didn't really mostly hate
It
it.
sounds like you
See,
like
I-
the movie.
That's what I'm saying. I kind of like it.
I want this podcast to be so good that it's our penned podcast for when you first come to our channel.
Yeah, we can only hope.
I
can
So-
want
only
them to
hope.
see this first.
Let's
because,
start
oh
off-
boy.
Hey, if you like the content you see here, consider liking, commenting, maybe, and subscribing. If you want to see more, helps us out, and it's free.
That'd be awesome.
So that would be super awesome, Jack.
yeah.
It would be super awesome of them. But anyway, without further ado, shall we get to
Well,
what we're going to say?
what's your name as well? For the audio listeners, of course. And new people.
Frick, what is my name? Nick. That's the name.
That was unoriginal.
Would you like to say your name, sir?
Yeah, I'm the Big Kahuna.
Okay.
That's not your
I'm
name.
Zach.
And then
Yeah, there you go.
Welcome.
behind the cameras, controlling the shots, we have.
My name is Vicky.
Okay, we have Vicky.
Yeah.
Dude,
Alright,
a
Nick.
woman?
Nick, get
That's
on with
kinda
the
women.
get on with the synopsis.
know.
So,
Let's hear what this movie's all about.
We like to tender to all genders.
yeah, we do.
Thanks,
Go
Zach.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
not off Google, by the way. In 2011, Brian Harper is an astronaut for NASA working on a satellite when all of a sudden he is attacked by a cluster of alien nanobots. After losing the satellite because it was attacked and losing the life of one of his comrades, he is evicted from NASA and blamed for the attack.
Wow.
Wow. It's a rough being Brian these days. Damn. Several years later, the whole world learns that the moon is falling
Wow.
from space.
How's that happen?
And it's going to kill us all.
Wow.
So, in order to save the world, Brian has to pick up the pieces as a NASA astronaut and venture back to the moon, along with his other colleagues, Jasonda and Houseman. Did I say Jasonda right, Vicky?
Jacinda?
I think I said
it's
it right.
Jacinda.
Jacinda.
Yeah.
Jacinda. My bad. And they have to venture back to the moon to stop the moon from crashing into Earth and killing us all.
All right.
By the way, the moon is crashing to Earth because the aliens are kind of like, crashing the moon into Earth.
So it's an alien.
It's taking it out of orbit.
Basically,
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
it's an alien AI, and it doesn't like humanity because millions and millions of years ago, our ancestors in this movie.
I was going to say that next. Yeah.
They created an AI, and everything was great until the AI kind of got mad and then turned against them, and basically
They're like, humans are inferior.
Yeah, so they took over humans, basically wiped them out, and then the humans created moons to go off and find new solar systems that had promising like future life forms, and the moon, our moon, Earth's moon, was the only one that got away.
Yep.
Finally, the AI found us, which was in 2011 in this movie, and that was the attack. And then for 10 years, it was drilling to the center of it, and then it finally was able to, I guess the center of the moon was like a dying neutron star or something like
It
that.
was a dwarf
It
star.
was a dwarf star, Jack.
I'm sorry, I can't believe I remembered that, but I did.
A dwarf star. So it surrounds the dwarf star, kind of like takes away its power, and the moon just becomes like irrelevant and starts to crash towards
It
Earth.
becomes a giant hunk of metal in space
Yeah, pretty much.
with a gravitational pull.
So-
whole story, just quick recap.
Not what we just did.
yeah, Moonfall,
Moonfall.
save Moon, save Earth. That's the plot.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much the plot of the whole movie.
So let's jump right into this. I have a like,
Can't wait.
kind of.
I'm so excited.
Why
Let's
was
just
why
dive
was
right in.
Casey House? What was it? Casey something?
The
The like
horizontally challenged man?
Wow.
I was on the verge of saying like a lot of different
Casey,
bigoted words.
why was he so obsessed with tracking the moon's trajectory in the beginning, like in the beginning of the movie?
because he wants to prove that it was.
But how did he know?
Whatever.
I think he was just
that
trying to
was.
prove himself.
But
because
like,
he
Because he's just an extreme like theorist.
how lucky would you have to get to find go finally hack into the professor's computer, print out the moon reports,
Yeah.
and realize that it's falling before NASA even does.
Yeah, that's my thing. NASA would know so many months ahead of time.
I
Like,
mean,
they know as
they
soon as
know?
it
They
starts.
probably
Would they,
that's
though?
probably when it happened. Is like as soon as it started is when he found out about it, because
Yeah,
that's
but
what they were like.
NASA would know as soon as like.
That's what I'm
anyone
saying.
else
Like
would.
that didn't really make any sense. They were like, "Hey, wait, did you know the moon is like out of orbit right now?" That didn't really make any sense. But
This one guy is just like
Moonfall.
moon falling, and NASA's like, that's news to me, pal.
so you were saying earlier that the beginning of this movie was low key kind of promising, right? Like it was.
I didn't say that.
Who said that? Was that
Oh,
you,
it was
Zach?
me.
Yeah. So you said the beginning was kind
the
of
beginning
promising.
was like of course there's gonna be stupid parts in it. I mean the moon
There's
is
always
falling,
yeah.
but like it seemed kind of promising.
Yeah,
at
it
the
was pretty
beginning.
promising in the
It was a little
beginning.
promising. I liked the main astronaut guy. Like
Yeah.
I liked his actor.
Patrick Wilson, solid guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Everyone's favorite exorcist.
yeah, and you always got the cheesy comedy fat guy.
Yeah. The
For
comedic.
comedy.
The comedic relief. Yeah.
I don't know. He's loves.
I mean, I'll
his
name out the
mom.
characters real quick because it's kind of like a common request, meaning
Yeah,
like one
go
person's
ahead.
commented. But yeah, so we have KC, who's like the pretty much like primary like comedic relief, and he's also like a super smart genius.
The smartest man in the room.
Yeah,
But
and then we
nobody knows
have Brian Harper, who is the astronaut we see in the beginning, who's blamed for all the like the mishap that happened
Yeah,
on the
NASA.
2011 mission.
NASA covered it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have Jocinda, who is the girl astronaut who is on the spaceship in the very beginning, and she's throughout the entire thing.
Later, she's like the
Director of NASA.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we have his son, Sony Harper, who's just another kind of like foolish kid.
A character that shouldn't have been in the movie.
He was in
Pretty
Dark
much.
Skies. If anyone watched that awful movie, Dark Skies.
We have the stepfather, Tom Lopez, who's also a really famous actor.
Yeah, that guy. I don't remember what I've
Michael
seen. him
Pena?
in, but he's
Ant-Man?
been there.
Yeah, Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
The truth serum scene.
Yeah.
Then we have the young kid. We have Michelle, who's like, I don't know what she is in relation to all of them. I think she's just like a babysitter or something. And then the rest of the kind of crew is just whatever, irrelevant, kind of.
Yep, pretty much.
So yeah, like pretty much like I really have nothing to say about the beginning of the movie. Like it was like a normal, promising movie. Like I do have to say, like, how they're fixing up that Mustang. He was fixing up the Mustang in his garage or whatever. I thought that was gonna come in some point in the movie. Like You know, he was gonna be able to
Oh,
like
yeah,
take
he
out the
was doing
Mustang and
that.
like a cool like
like
drive
classic,
away.
classic Hollywood fashion.
Yeah, like drive away from tsunami scene, but no, that never happened, which
Nope.
is kind of disappointing. But
they couldn't afford the Mustang.
so
probably.
let's jump to where it kind of gets bad, and
Yeah.
that's
Everywhere.
When the moon falls.
the moment the
that's
as
when
the moment the
tsunami.
tide starts to
Yeah,
rise.
but that's mainly when everything before that was like whatever, except for when Casey was kind of like standing there watching the water come, and he's like,
Yeah.
he gets
Yes.
like engulfed by the
God.
water, and then he's like, "Hey guys, I can't swim."
That was so stupid.
I was just
Now,
about
let me
to
take a
say,
moment.
why
think
why
about
were you
this.
standing there in
That
the first
moment-
place? But yeah,
That moment right
There's-
there is exactly when the movie was like
It just
this,
started to go-
and it just went
It just plummeted.
straight
that was a
down.
little
It-
questionable. Also,
right
how
there.
No, listen, the way he was standing there reminded me of like a little kid like waiting at their mom's door to like tell them they threw up.
like, hey Casey, get away from there. He's like, huh?
Big ball. Okay, big ball. I love
Big
boats.
And then how did the like the NASA people know exactly where Brian was? You know how they like flew the helicopter to
Exactly.
to the hotel they was staying in? They knew exactly what room and where he was, unless they had like a secret tracker inside of him. That didn't really make too much sense. But
let me ask you a question, Jack.
all right.
Was Brian vaccinated?
Oh my god. All right.
Can you shut the fuck up?
Anyways, fast forward to when they have the great idea of taking a space shuttle out of a museum and using that to shoot it up to the moon, which
They can't do that.
I mean,
They
okay,
can't
well,
do that.
I'm no like
They seal-
astrophysicist.
They seal
or,
up the parts.
You know, it seems like it would be true, but I don't actually know. Like maybe they just throw it in there. You know, don't know. So that's like very
So they
questionable.
have a ready to go spaceship in a museum just sitting there.
Yeah, I mean,
Kinda. I mean, they still
So
had
they
to like.
could just take it out and just it's ready
why
to
would
go.
they have
after
like a
few pictures.
styrofoam replica of a space shuttle in a museum?
Yeah, but you would assume they would put all, like take out all the major like technology shit. and
no,
stuff.
that's like desecrating history.
Yeah, that's true. But I would think they would like seal up certain things, so no like vigilante can go in
Yeah,
there, throw
like
some
they
fuel
take
in
all
and,
the
like,
fuel out and
I mean, yeah, obviously that, but like also
The
seal up
engine?
the.
they'd
the
salvage
engines?
no. But
Why
they'd
would they
salvage
leave
like the
engines
battery
in there?
probably because the battery can be used for other shit.
Well, it is.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm no engineer. Or
Yeah.
an astronaut. Maybe that's the problem with this movie.
I mean, aren't you
I
going
think-
for like aerospace
Yeah, well, I'm
engineering?
not there yet. Give me a couple more years. Maybe
Shouldn't
I'll
you
like.
be the expert
Maybe
on
I'll
this?
like Moonfall.
Yeah, silly us. I mean, the moon
Yeah.
isn't really a moon.
Silly
It's
you,
just,
you dumb
obviously
little silly
it's
boys.
A mini
You
dwarf.
could never, your
planet
brains could never
inside.
fathom the
Of
knowledge
course.
and like high IQ of this movie.
It's
So-
a NASA cover up.
Yeah, so they get the space shuttle and they take it over and they're rebuilding and everything. Giant earthquake happens, yada yada yada. Moon's coming towards the Earth. All right, so this is where it starts to get kind of dumb, like really
The
dumb.
CG
really
was
dumb.
dumb to begin with, but it got really dumb.
I like the CG. I thought it was pretty good. But so they had, okay, so they're launching off in the space shuttle, right?
Yeah.
And then
Which before that, right?
Okay,
like
yeah.
she sends everyone home,
yeah,
and then like 5 minutes later decides, hey, let's go. Let's just go.
that kind of made
This is the
sense.
most
Why didn't you
indecisive
just,
chick in
like,
history.
You could have just maybe weighed your like all your options before you just like sent everyone home.
Dude, like
I don't-
literally, in
I
the
don't think the
over the
moon-
course of 20 minutes, she went from "let's go to the moon, let's save Earth" to one of the engines doesn't work, mission's a bust, and then
I
5
don't-
minutes later, we could go off 2 engines. Let's get everybody back in the building.
I don't know. I don't know. That was just.
It's kind of.
I don't know if she would have because time was like they're crunched on time right there.
Yeah.
Everybody had to either
And
get out or
engines.
go for the mission, and I don't think she really had time to okay, let's go back, reevaluate like all of our options, take 20 minutes to do it when like in 20 minutes the giant tsunami was coming in to engulf everybody. So,
Yeah.
I that a little bit made sense, but
It's like those other two side characters. They just they had this whole sequence where they ran out to the helicopter. and
That's
then
what we're
they
about
had
to
the
talk about.
helicopter taking off, and it was just like, then they just die.
Oh my
Also,
god, that
I
was
love
so
how-
dumb
And
too.
it's just like
I
it
love
didn't
how
even
in this
show
movie,
it just kind
the
of
moon is like this like looming threat that every time it comes up, everyone's surprised. How are you surprised of where the moon is? It orbits in one direction, no matter how fast it's going. How do they not see the moon coming? And how do they not see that giant ass wave on its way before they could launch on the rocket. Makes
I don't know, man.
no sense.
Why did the helicopter fly into the tsunami? Beats me, bro.
Oh my god, dude.
Beats me.
What was
You know, they
that?
could have just gone, left instead of right into
Yeah,
it. But
what?
hey, that's beyond me. Oh, then let's
What
also
was that
talk
pilot
about.
thinking.
Well,
So-
at some point, does it keep really like orbiting? Like, because I know the point is like there's Earth, and then
I
it
feel like
keeps
it
orbiting
follows a
closer and
pretty
closer, and then
steady
it
orbit.
hits.
I mean, it probably goes like
But,
this, but slowly turns
Yeah,
to
but
the left.
it's
but
off
still.
orbit. So, like, wouldn't at some point it hit the Earth's like gravity and just
Well, I mean,
crash?
it's
into
not going
Earth?
like this. It's like it's going in a circle. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like at one point it wouldn't just a bunch of pieces fall off. I feel like the
Yeah.
whole moon would just crash in there.
Yeah,
it would
that's
just, like,
what was gonna
crack in
happen.
half.
That's what was about to happen. It was kind of in the process of happening, but it stopped because they were able to save last minute. But so let's assume that the helicopter didn't just suicide into the tsunami for no apparent reason. Why wouldn't Sony and the two kids get on the helicopter with them instead of driving a car across a Ravager scavenged land and catastrophic moon events crashing
hell-
down?
Why
helicopter
would
was
they
gonna
get
blow
out
up.
and watch the shuttle
Yeah,
go
Yeah, that
out
was another thing.
as the
What were they
tsunami
doing?
is
That was
coming
another thing. Why,
towards
why
them?
would they do that? That makes no sense.
Gets out of the car and is like, "That's my dad."
No,
And then
it's
he's
because
like, "Oh
the-
shit."
It's because the characters in this movie have no common sense. They don't
Yeah.
think.
They don't.
They just it's stupid.
A lot of the scenes they didn't want to think, which was very apparent by it.
I think
but
the only people who think in this movie, like just a little bit, are like Houseman and Brian.
wait, what would you say?
Just the only people who actually think in this movie are Houseman and Brian.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I mean, honestly,
Maybe.
you would have a movie.
And-
You would
and the
have a
fa-
movie still with
and the
just those two
father.
characters.
and the father who was in the military base who stopped the
that guy
nuke
too.
launch.
That guy too.
He thought.
But I mean, hey,
I mean,
they
he
were
stopped-
already like seconds away from being crushed by the moon.
I'm pretty sure he died. Didn't he die?
They all died.
I think
Yeah.
they all died.
We saw
I
them
guess.
all die.
I don't really understand what their plan was with nuking the moon.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do they not understand that if the moon goes bye-bye, so does the Earth?
I mean, I don't think that's possible.
That's
I don't think
the
that's true, but
What makes you say
Vicky's very
that?
smart.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that like the gravity of the moon is based off of like the Earth as well. But also, if you like nuke the moon, what happens with all those pieces? What's gonna happen?
Exactly.
It's gonna come hurtling towards Earth.
Yeah,
bye
I mean,
bye Earth.
I think their
It was
plan
already-
was they could break it into more pieces, and
so our atmosphere would burn it up easier.
I
That's
guess
probably what their plan was,
Probably.
but
it still would make
They-
everything worse.
I mean, it's
They're going
nice.
to blow it up though after the moon had already entered the atmosphere. That would do no good for
Yeah, exactly.
That
It
would
was like
literally just-
almost.
No, it
in the-
literally do
I mean,
no
at least they admitted it. They're like, oh yeah, it's definitely gonna like spew atomic radiation everywhere, but we probably shouldn't do this, but we're gonna do it.
Yeah. This is the only option we have left.
I mean, and why didn't they just send a nuke down that hole when they saw that there was a freaking monster, like, or what they thought was a monster before, not like an AI
Stop,
technology?
Jack, stop. You're being too logical.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
you're being
right.
too
I'm
logical.
sorry. Why? I don't know why they didn't shove the 20 nukes down there, but whatever. Why?
Couldn't do that. There wouldn't be a movie then.
So I'm gonna take a break from hitting on this for a second, and I do have to say that this video is sponsored by. I'm just kidding.
Video sponsored by Moonfall.
this video is sponsored by Ad Open.
Insert your
Please.
ad here, please. Hopefully. I do have to say I really like the. You guys might disagree with this, but I really like the cinematography this movie had. Like the different shots of the space, the really cool AI, the moon
Yeah,
when it's
I
like
love-
demolishing
I
the
love
Earth.
scenes and the characters were like, "Oh, tsunami! Wow."
I mean, not that exactly, but like when the shots they would show like space and like the Milky Way galaxy and like the animation was way better than what I thought of like Eternal space, where like the giant celestial is just popping out of a Earth like an egg hatching.
This moon gives Eternals a run for their money.
The cinematography and the CGI in this movie was, I thought, pretty good. Like they did a very good job on the visuals in this movie. I mean the story might not have been like
okay.
as par, but like what do you think about like the cinematography? Do you think it was bad?
That
Or-
helicopter though.
The CGI was pretty bad.
I mean, it
I
was a pretty.
will-
Like, what
there
about
were
the
some
AI?
standout moments.
What about the AI?
The
Like
AI
I will
was
give
visually pleasing
it
to
was.
look at.
It was very, and it was like
It was very like
you couldn't tell. It didn't look like
psychedelic.
yeah, it didn't look like Play-Doh or anything like that. Like that last helicopter did. like like what do you think, Zach? Like
I will say like there are parts where you could tell that they focus their CGI.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And there were parts where it needed to focus on its CGI, but
Definitely.
you could tell where its budget went.
Yeah.
Which was basically in two things, which was the alien monster and the moon falling.
Yeah.
Also, all the CG cars that they could not afford in real life.
I wish I wish there was more Earth destruction in this movie.
Oh,
where
yeah.
there's a moon falling. There wasn't a lot of it.
I thought there was a lot of it.
Well, I love how
There was just tsunami parts, which is like, yeah, that's cool and all. But I feel like we've seen that before, you know? Just go watch 2012.
Yeah.
exactly.
And then you got that movie.
I think that's one.
And they
one of
did
the
it
biggest
way
issues.
better back then. And
Yeah.
that movie
That
came
movie
out,
had
like,
way
what,
better CG.
2
It
years
looked,
before?
it looked so much better back then. It came out in like 2010 or
11.
something.
10 or
2011.
11.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It
It
looks
was literally
so
called
cool.
2012. But
People literally thought the world was going to end after that movie came
Yeah,
out.
I mean, that was like-
2000.
that was a stigma. It
That
was
was
like-
the big one because that was when like the Mayan calendar ended.
yeah.
Oh.
I do have to, what about the scene
Whoa.
where I think it was like New York City or like Seattle or something, like some big city was just getting like demolished by the moon. Like, do you guys not remember that one? But like the moon is literally scraping on the top of like skyscrapers and stuff.
Oh yeah,
that was
that
New
was a
York,
pretty
I
cool
think.
movie.
That
though.
was cool.
And like a
When-
giant piece of moon just
was
flies through a
that?
skyscraper.
Yeah,
and,
like that was
decapitates
cool.
it.
That was
pretty
really cool.
Like there were some standout moments. Like dude, when the scenes where like a piece of moon crashed into a mountain, like that scene where like an asteroid crashed into the peak of a mountain and kind of like obliterated it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so cool.
That was awesome.
But then I look at the reaction of all the actors, and they're all just kind of like, oh no.
Yeah, it wasn't the
What is that
reaction-
reaction?
Yeah, it wasn't the reaction I assumed. But
You're in an apocalyptic setting, and you should
don't
be
know.
like, oh.
I did like the destruction in like the mountains. I just thought like
it was cool.
yeah, it was just I couldn't get past the plot of them being there. It like,
I know.
was so
Yeah.
Especially when
useless.
like his son was like arriving at that cabin or that lodge where his family was, and they're all outside and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're here! Oh my gosh!" And then a giant meteor flies over and hits a mountain, and they all just look at it and
Yeah, they're like-
"Let's go inside."
Yeah, like, that didn't make
yeah,
any
like
sense.
it could literally crash into the house at any
Could
second.
crash
and
at
kill
any
them all.
moment, and
How-
they're also
And they're
nonchalant
going
about
inside.
it. They're also nonchalant.
Don't
about
go inside. You gotta watch to see if they're gonna hit nearby
Yeah.
or
How
on
did
you.
Sony know exactly where the house was?
He's probably been to it before, probably.
But like, how did he
Really?
know they were going there? He wasn't connected with them at all. How did like they didn't have a phone to
True.
call him at all? Like how?
True.
And then how was he like
Also,
strategically
Maybe his
right?
dad told him.
Also, the mom literally almost like killed him. Got
Oh
him.
wait,
No, wait,
didn't
that
they,
wasn't the mom.
They needed
Who
a
was that?
car.
That was
didn't
just like
they?
a random neighbor.
The what?
Remember that?
Her
They
name was
needed a
Karen.
car.
Yeah.
And he was like, because they got carjacked because the son is stupid
Very stupid.
and
He literally gave him
they
a
basically
gun for
walked
that
through the
reason.
snow. Yeah, he gave him
Well,
that
he
gun.
kicked it
He
out of
did
the
eventually
car.
use the gun, but we'll get to that.
It was
Yeah,
smart.
eventually, but
But
like,
he needed a car, so I think that's the main reason why he hooked up with his family. And
yeah.
I don't know.
I think I used the wrong word there. He
Okay.
reconvened with his family because he needed a car or means to get to where the general dad was, so they could get to safety in the bunker.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can we talk about how like they were like, guys, we gotta get out of here. We gotta go to like the mountains or something, or like how is that gonna help? Like the moon is falling into the earth, like everything's gonna get
Yeah.
destroyed.
I
Like how is
think-
moving to a different
I
state
think
gonna
going
help?
to the mountains was just to get away from like the tsunamis.
No, I agree with that.
That and I feel like
Yes.
Like
no,
No,
that and I
like-
feel like the mountains would be way safer than just like some house.
Well, no,
Yeah, but
because
that's
mountains
true,
are just gonna start erupting the volcanoes. Like they were like,
don't-
increase in tectonic and
don't-
volcanic
Well,
activity.
I
not-
think that would happen at all.
not
I
really.
think that
But
would.
like I'm just saying, like
mean,
if the moon was gonna fall into the earth, okay,
Yeah, there'd be
the earth
complete
is going to
chaos.
be completely destroyed.
Mhm.
What are they gonna do then? Move to another state? Nothing's
Go to-
gonna help there.
You're just gonna
Yeah,
have
why-
to do end of world things. I mean,
Go to
like,
Greenland.
The world's
Nothing happens in
destroyed.
Greenland.
Yeah, I'm a little
It's gonna be
curious.
anarchy.
Why was everybody so frantic to go to Colorado? Like what's so great about Colorado?
Higher altitude. That's literally. The
Is that
only-
why?
That's the only thing I could think of.
Like why wouldn't they want to go to I don't know, like
Mount Everest.
not Mount Everest, but like I don't know, like the South Pole or like somewhere like north or south? Because doesn't
Why?
the moon like have like a you know, the moon's like going like I don't know, like
Yeah, I guess.
kind of near the equator-ish or whatever.
Predicted where it's gonna crash into. Although I'm pretty sure if the moon crashes into the Earth,
I think
it's
it would just
gone.
Yeah, I think
where
the
was
Earth
the-
would blow up or something.
So
They should have
it doesn't
definitely-
really matter where the impact is gonna be.
Again,
You guys are
not an
right about, like,
astrophysicist.
the whole
Don't know.
the whole orbit of the moon though. Like there should have been some sort of logical like
I don't know. There
like,
could be like an
piece
underground
of
bunker
information
or
where it was
some
like, oh, this is the one spot where the moon is least likely to orbit around because of its orbital path.
That's what
yeah,
I'm
it's
saying.
elliptical, but it's going to orbit in like a kind of consistent path. It might change a little bit, but this is the one spot where it won't really orbit for like a good 3 or 4 months. Let's all just go there and migrate after 4 months to a different place.
I think the Earth would have been gone by the time that the moon like crashed into it.
Yeah, true.
I'm not, like I said, not a science person. Wish I was, but
And like especially
If we all went to
this
Greenland,
moon.
I think we would. They would have
Because
stood a
I
better
think
chance.
I think they would have been better off than what they were. At least
yeah,
that's what it
definitely,
seems,
definitely. Yeah.
But
Why didn't we direct this movie? Like,
Because I don't
We-
want to lose money.
we will one day.
Moonfall.
Yeah, I don't know. My opinion might be a little skewed because like I'm a huge like space nerd. Like I
So
love.
am I, but oh my god.
I mean, okay, that's why like I really appreciated like the great.
Fall.
Okay.
Let's do it.
That's why I
Pluto
appreciated
Nash in 3D.
the great like cinematics and like different shots they had in here, and like I've always read about like Dyson spheres and stuff too, and actually being able to see one in like a live screen was awesome.
What's a Dyson sphere?
That's what they had going around the dwarf star.
Oh,
Yeah, it basically like harnesses its energy or whatever, and it.
that giant gyroscope thing.
Yeah. There's like theories on if we could get like a Dyson sphere around our sun, then we could like turn our civilization like closer to a Type 1 civilization than, because right now we're below a Type 1. But that's like I don't know.
What's a Type 1 civilization?
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
don't-
measured
I
on
don't-
how much power we're able to use and like how much power we use. So like,
Do they know that we could use more power? Like we could actually grow, or
who's they?
I don't know.
I don't know. Wait, who are you
Anyone?
in this movie?
Like, is it
Brian
no,
Harper.
Like in real? No, are we talking about the movie right now or real life?
I'm talking about real life Dyson spheres, and then they put it in this movie, which I thought was
Okay.
awesome. Yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah.
obviously no Dyson spheres in real life that I know of
Not
around the
yet.
sun because I think we'd notice,
at
but
least-
How do you
Here.
explain Dyson vacuums?
they're very cool. Sponsor us.
Vicky's losing her shit over there.
But yeah, that's I don't know. My opinion might be a little skewed, but
I'll tell you one thing though. I actually really didn't like the cinematography. As far as like the camera shots go, and the
Well, I
overall
feel like a lot
film-
of it was CGI.
No, I'm talking about like the actual camera shots. of,
Well,
like,
that's what I
people.
mean. Like any
The
good
constant
shots were
cutting.
CGI.
There was just so much cutting when there was no need for it. Like
I didn't notice.
I noticed.
It
a
didn't.
lot.
It wasn't so bad where it was like barely noticeable for me at least.
No,
See, I
for
bet
me it
this
was
is
like
a movie where
dude,
the other Nick would notice.
I
that a
love
lot.
movies where like cuts are very long and drawn out and actually have
So you must
meaning,
have really
and they
liked
cut when
Dunkirk.
it's actually necessary. This movie just like did it off a whim, dude. Like one character talks, cut to them. Another character talks, cut to them immediately.
Because, like,
if there's
no
like any sort of
offense-
banter, just spam the cut button
Yeah,
back
I
and
feel
forth.
like no offense to the actors, because like I'm sure you tried your best, but like they weren't very good in this movie.
Yeah, no.
And maybe that's why it led to a lot of cuts. Maybe things were just either cut out
Yeah.
because because I'm sure a lot of scenes just need a
Mm-hmm.
ton of CGI, even just in the background.
Yeah.
It's true.
So either it got cut out because budget reasons, or they were just actually terrible actors and just
And probably
it
a
just needed to be,
culmination of
like,
those things.
wiped off.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The flow of this movie was pretty bad.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. I didn't notice it at all.
Well,
Sorry,
it just
the
got.
flow.
It was like it went from oh no, the moon's out of orbit to oh no, we're gonna lie to our people. Oh no, it got leaked.
Dude, I
Oh,
didn't
no,
even realize when
moon
the
is
time skip
actually
happened.
falling. And then like oh no, there's an evil thing living in the moon, killing everyone that wants to kill people in electronic spaces.
And also, the aliens are human.
So what would
also,
you?
why didn't it come to Earth then?
So what would you do though?
I don't
Wait,
know.
we said why didn't it come to Earth?
Yeah,
They explained it. They wanted to get rid of the moon, like the celestial, like, or the ancient civilization that, like, put itself there.
Yeah.
And the
See,
AI
that makes
within
no
it.
sense though, because
Okay,
in the
shut up and let me explain.
fucking fine.
God.
Sorry.
Yeah, so they wanted to destroy that and the Earth at the same time. Like, how hard is that to understand? Like, that makes sense.
Okay,
actually.
but then why does it come out of the hole when anytime there's people in a electronic atmosphere?
Because they want to kill it.
Yeah, so wouldn't it want to kill the people on Earth too?
Yes, that's why they're crashing the moon into the Earth. That,
I don't know.
how does that not make sense?
I don't know.
It
I just
really
feel like
just
if
sounds
there's
stupid.
one alien cluster here, why don't I feel like all the alien clusters would just be together because they've annihilated pretty much everything, and Earth is the last bastion of humanity.
Nick, you need.
But let me.
Moonfall
But no,
2.
no. But
How's
let me
Moonfall
finish.
2 gonna happen?
But Moonfall 2 doesn't need to happen. Let me explain why.
But it's probably
Okay,
going
okay.
Explain
to.
why. Why didn't all the fucking alien clusters just cluster together and make a super cluster, and then just all indiscriminately attack humanity? They'd just die anyways, and then they just destroy the moon.
So,
'cause there's so
you
many
saw
of them.
you saw what happened when they were having the space fight or the space chase where they flew through all the guns
Yeah.
and it started shooting it and it slowed it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would realize that it was going to get slowed down by bullets and missiles and stuff. So if
Yeah.
it just went straight to Earth,
That's why if they had more nanobots, if they had all,
I
the
agree about that,
nanobots,
but they didn't. So if they went just straight to Earth to attack Earth,
why?
they'd know the AI. I'm sure is smart enough to know that it would get shot up by a bunch of bullets and stuff.
I know.
guess.
So that's why its plan was okay. Let's just crash the moon of the Earth. Like, it's not that.
I just
My
really.
question is just why wouldn't all the nanobots be at Earth? Because Earth is literally the last place
you would
where
think
humanity
you'd think it
resides.
would send a transmission or something to all the other
I
AI.
found them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, come
Yeah.
here, we found him, and then it would be but then it would be a much shorter movie, and it would just I don't know.
Let's get these bitches.
Maybe
It
that's
wouldn't.
what
It
the
wouldn't be
end-
Moonfall. It would just be
Maybe
Alien
that's
Siege.
Maybe that's what the end was talking about, where he's like, "We gotta prepare."
Oh yeah, because they're probably all coming now.
Oh my god, I can't wait for the second.
Yeah, or maybe they were so far away that it took them. They were on their way, but it just took them a while to actually get there. Who knows? Maybe they scattered out across the different parts of the universe. To
I just don't
find
care
it.
enough to care, but I
mean, I'm just trying to explain why.
I know.
I'm trying to make it make sense. You know.
you know what? And I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Because now I understand why it didn't go to Earth.
I think
'Cause it's bad.
The whole core of the movie just doesn't make sense, so I'm trying to interject sense.
Well, see
into
what
them.
I feel like it just got really dumb when it added the alien stuff. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
it should have just been the moon actually falling. Wouldn't I feel like that would have been cooler than just
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've seen today's trend of movies though, but there's a million different plots within movies nowadays. It's never just as simple as the moon's falling. It's there's got to be something else. In it.
but it's just like a extinction annihilation movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's.
I
And then I
want
had that
it to
cool
kill people.
backstory or whatever, and I don't know, yeah.
The Day the Earth Stood Still. That's a movie we should do. I feel like that's a good movie to do.
Never seen it.
Me neither, but
So
I've heard good things about it.
let me let me talk about this dumb scene though.
Okay.
Where the moon's coming over that little town they stumble upon
Oh,
before
yeah.
they get to them.
Yeah.
And all the tents are flying up in the air and stuff. And then just is the moon's gravity just selective of who it wants to take up?
Oh no.
Because
Oh,
listen to
no.
this. They're okay, let's take shelter in some scrappy little wooden shed that has it's crap. It's literally a shed for a
Literally in
lawnmower.
shambles.
So they go in there, right, thinking it's gonna hold up, which apparently it does for some freaking reason. And then the only thing in there that's getting attracted by the gravity is the heaviest thing in the room, which is the lawnmower.
Yep.
How does that make sense? They're just perfectly fine sitting in a corner, and the lawnmower, the tractor is getting pulled towards that. What?
It's getting pulled towards them.
Yeah, not even up, just pulled towards.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anything
I agree,
less-
that did not make sense. That was
weighs
stupid.
less than that tractor should be flying.
And that could have
Exactly.
actually made a good scene to where maybe the barn did rip up, right? Say the
Yeah.
whole barn ripped up, and then the tractor's the only thing actually staying on the ground because it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the guy's holding on to
Or
it
maybe
as
it's
they're
or-
flying up
yeah,
in the
or
air,
it's,
and the kid's
chained
holding onto
down.
his leg.
It gets chained down to a foundational.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be kind of a cool
support.
scene where they're kind of
That'd be
they're
better-
hanging on for
yeah.
their life?
That would be much
sick.
better than it not making sense.
And then it
Bro,
And you can't
finally
even
ends in
say
the
that
show.
Just like in Zathura, dude. When he rolls a piece where it's gravity, and then they start getting pulled out of the house, and he's just grabbing onto a support beam in the house until
Yeah.
it's over.
And it's
See,
like,
this
oh
was
my
a
gosh.
scene where I'm okay, they're running out of budget here because it's they're going inside, so you don't have to show the outside. So no CGI there. And then the only thing that's happening is a tractor getting pulled to them.
Yeah, it's like they could have made much more sense. And they can't even argue it's magnetic because I saw tents flying up in the air and stuff.
Yeah, it's not magnetic.
So I think this is Exhibit A of gravity being selective on who it affects. Exhibit B, the tree scene. Remember
but you're telling me the moon's gravity is stronger than the Earth's?
That didn't make sense either. They're like, it's getting bigger. Like, what? How's it getting bigger?
Maybe water coming up, I could see, because water is so light.
Actually, I think it's because of the star within it, because the star is all that mass condensed into one spot.
We gotta talk about the tree scene.
But then their whole calculations of the moon's gravity to begin with would be really skewed because it would be super heavy. Hollow. Yeah, it's for one, it's hollow. Well, I mean, that doesn't matter because it has a giant star in the middle of it.
Yeah.
No matter what the size of the star is, it's still like its gravity is massive because the amount of matter and mass packed into that small space is much more dense than anything here. So it's way more like gravitationally strong than anything on Earth.
What was it? A dwarf star?
Yeah, it doesn't even matter what kind of star it was.
Dwarf stars have like crazy.
Oh, they're nuts.
They're nuts.
They're like thousands of times heavier than Earth. That megastructure
would have to just almost completely nullify the gravity.
Aren't dwarf stars
they're
way bigger than our sun?
No.
They're not.
They're dwarf stars. They're tiny.
Our sun's an average, or it's like a smaller than average star.
Because we're gonna nerd out for a sec. They're tiny because they're super compact.
Yeah.
Because they're super compact, their gravity is fucking insane. They're like borderline. They're basically baby black holes.
They're black holes waiting to happen.
They're baby black holes. Like dwarf stars, if they're near another star, they literally suck the energy out of that star until it just completely spirals and explodes into a black hole.
Yeah, it's
who's the genius who decided, hey, let's build a giant structure around a
that somehow withstands the gravity.
To happen.
Well, okay, the Dyson sphere is like not a real thing, but it's like an actual scientifically sound thing.
I'm pretty sure it's an actual mechanism.
Yeah, it's an actual thing created. I don't know that it's kind of suspends its gravitational pull and heat apparently because the AI robot was apparently just able to surround it and just turn it off for some reason. You have something to say?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was a white dwarf that was inside that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our sun is a white dwarf.
I don't think so.
I just
but
I
it's
looked
orange.
it up.
I looked at it.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
I took astronomy.
A typical white
college.
dwarf is about as massive as the sun. So it's like the same thing as our sun.
See, I thought it was
Shoot,
I don't think so because it's inside of a moon, Vicky. So how is it the same size as our sun?
It literally says a typical white dwarf is about as massive as the sun.
Okay, massive that makes sense. Size doesn't.
Yeah, but
only slightly bigger than the Earth.
Oh.
So where are you reading that on?
Kind of makes sense.
Google.
NASA.gov.
I guess
so. You're gonna listen to NASA?
That's
no,
sorry. I guess it's not a credible source.
It says massive as a sun, but no bigger than Earth.
Yeah,
that's an average dwarf star. So I guess this one's.
You need to be going on Google Scholar, Vicky, and finding articles on Google Scholar because NASA.gov is not a credible source.
I don't see any sources cited.
Yeah, where's the sources site? Where's the scholarly articles?
Is this by Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Where's the scholarly articles listed? Is
this MLA format? I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah, if it's an APA, it's invalid.
Yeah, that's chemistry.
Okay, wait. There's another thing. Okay, there's another thing saying a typical white dwarf is half as massive now.
Oh.
As the sun.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways. Next subject.
No, you got to talk about the tree scene. We keep avoiding it.
What tree scene?
We were on a train. We were on a train of just different scenes where gravity just completely affects who it wants to affect.
Yeah.
And nobody else. Right. This tree scene. Remember when the kid was stuck? The Brian's son was stuck under a tree.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? And they're like, "Oh, here comes the moon. The gravity's gonna help us lift the tree."
Wouldn't it lift everybody else?
The tree starts to float. How does that girl not fly off the ground?
It's lifting the tree, which is way heavier than
it's
both of them
the
combined.
Tree. And how so much lighter.
How is Sony alive?
Exactly.
He's getting crushed by a tree.
They lift the tree.
He looks down. He's like, "Oh,
they lift
crap."
the tree, and you just see the sun just scurry, crawling on the ground. Stand up.
Everything.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
Ever since they introduced the sun, by just having him get arrested for whatever reason.
What
I
the
knew
hell?
it was going to be the worst subplot ever.
Yeah.
But it got really bad when it was like, okay, we're getting in the car and we're leaving. Right there, when that subplot went off on its own, Garbo.
Yeah,
Garbo. You could have just erased that and just had the rest of the movie, and it would have been better.
Yes, it really would have been.
So when they after they got out of the car or whatever, and before the tree scene, and they were heading up towards the mountain hole thing that was apparently superior construction. When the daughter like ran out of air or whatever,
no.
so
Oh no.
he's like, "Oh, don't worry, let me just give you
No.
my." So why, like,
He could have just carried her and
This
kept
guy-
doing, like, switching
this
off.
guy-
Exactly. Why
Yes.
wouldn't they just sit there and
This
switch
guy,
off? I mean, I
obviously-
guess they didn't know that
I mean-
like the oxygen would return, so maybe he was like,
It also
"I'll give
would-
her all of it."
It
bro.
also would take
but
up all the, like, half of the oxygen, so you wouldn't last as long.
This guy obviously didn't see A Quiet Place 2. Where they shared the oxygen.
yeah, and why
right.
why wouldn't they all do that to conserve? Like, why would they
Exactly,
all carry
bro.
this?
They were just burning through that oxygen like
Because-
crazy.
Theoretically, they could all just keep like holding their breath or whatever, and just
Yeah.
take like breaths like very conservative like of the oxygen.
Or just take
because that's not gonna last forever.
No, but they're just going to
Very
climb a
hazardous
mountain
breaths.
and use all of the air tanks they have.
Like, bro, did you see how long that guy went without breathing any oxygen? He was like, maybe breathing for like a whole minute without oxygen. You gotta wait a minute, taking a puff, and be like,
Yeah,
and then just repeat the process. And
Yeah.
they would have been fine for like a good
And then
like 5 hours.
also how they go out to like he's like I gotta go save him or whatever because the oxygen's back or whatever. He's totally not dead. So they like run back out there and basically just get like demolished by like every natural disaster known to man. Then some, like just then magically the tree lifts up over him and he doesn't, and the girl doesn't, and then they're just like turn around and go back.
Go back.
Bro, okay. No,
Like, all right, we're
listen
done.
though. I have like I have a lineup of different different exhibits of where gravity just does whatever the hell it wants. Exhibit C, the freaking spacecraft scene where it has the parachute.
Yeah.
What?
Well-
It's parachuting to the Earth. It's
also-
falling to Earth from a parachute.
They also were
How
just,
is
like,
it just,
right
like-
there, too.
Well, I mean, because the moon was very
Yeah.
close.
But what
that makes sense.
Well, they are heavy.
I don't. The moon's right there, so I don't know about
Well,
heavy.
according to this movie's logic, it favors heavy things. So why wouldn't it favor that?
But no, wouldn't the capsule just like be flying all over the place?
If there's
all-
no
all
air, then like
wicky-fucky?
if there's no air, then how would the parachutes even work?
I mean, it's blowing wind. We see wind
I
blowing
guess,
in
yeah.
that scene like freaking crazy.
Argument invalid.
And giant pieces of asteroid just going Mach
Dang it.
7 wherever the hell, and the capsule's just like.
So I have like a little segment. It's like a little game segment that I'm gonna like ask you guys. It's a what would you do segment. Okay, I have two scenarios. So
Yeah.
first
Oh,
scenario,
boy.
you are the director of NASA, right? The top secret clearance. You
I'm
know,
Jacinda. Yeah.
you know,
Stop
that
doing that.
it was an alien. And this not even not Jacinda. This is before. This is in the beginning. So
On the other guy. Yeah.
yeah, so you know that it was an alien AI that attacked the satellite repair mission, and you saw that it was drilling through the moon because they had all that information. Why else would they start building the EMP? So, option A, you realize that it's a huge threat, so you start building a mega EMP bomb device to stop it. However, you run into some budgeting issues, so you halt production and let the alien live on the moon. All right,
But do you know the alien's electronic?
they did because that's why they're building the EMP. Why else would they be building
Also,
an EMP?
before
And here's
you go
here's
on,
Why are
option
they-
B. Here's
Why
option
were
B.
they building an EMP?
Because they knew it was an AI. They knew it was like a technology.
No, it was
It
the whole
was-
plot. They were like, we have this EMP because the swarm is AI.
yeah, it's like a technology or whatever that was doing it. They knew that. So
What do you think they were bringing to the moon?
yeah, they knew that. So
It
option
wasn't really
B,
explained well, but it was stated. It was like, yeah, it's AI.
you realize that it was a huge threat, so you start building a mega EMP bomb device to stop it. But upon building it, you run into some budgeting issues. But instead of just giving up, you do everything in your power to keep building the device to stop the mysterious AI alien that's drilling through the moon and potentially gonna do something very evil in the future. what do you do? Do you choose option A or do you choose option B?
What's option A?
B?
Option A was the one where you just run into budgeting issues and stop.
What's option B?
Option B is where you run into budgeting issues and you keep pushing to get the money and continue to build the EMP and make the mission like successful.
What would I do to make money?
So what?
Like this is
To make money? What are you
Yeah,
talking about? You're NASA. You go to whoever's freaking
crowdfunding.
No, you go to whoever's handling the budget and you're like, hey, look, because I'm pretty sure.
more money.
No, I'm pretty sure
So
that
there's
NASA.
so either option you pick, there's going to be budget cuts, right?
There's gonna be budgeting problems either way, right?
Okay, both
So-
options. There's a budget issue.
So
Okay.
the
One of
thing
them,
is-
the director fights to get more money to actually finish the mission, and
Right.
the other one, the director's just like, whatever.
Okay, I'm not. Are you arguing?
Yeah, what are you arguing here?
I'm just like I think this is a dumb question.
It is a dumb question. But
That's the point.
But let me go.
That's exactly the point.
Logically, yes, I would probably fight because like save.
That's the
world and stuff.
point. Why wouldn't they do that in the
But-
movie?
No
I'm gonna-
shit.
I'm just
no
gonna
shit.
say
You would
some
fight.
fuck shit.
Why
Be like,
wouldn't
no.
you fight?
Exactly.
Giving up means you just kill everyone.
Exactly, I want that.
I mean,
Option A.
True. But like, okay. But the thing with like real life NASA is if something's getting budget cut, like a month later, it's getting completely cut.
Mm-hmm.
But like, okay. So like,
This is
NASA.
a special scenario.
yes,
you
yes,
think
yes.
that I don't think NASA's like keeping this like just like, oh, let's just swipe this under the rocks, not tell the president, not tell anybody. I'm pretty sure they would make this a high level priority inside
Right,
the internal
right.
government, and they would.
But the government didn't know about the moon.
They did. That's why they were building the EMP.
They didn't seem like they cared about that part at all.
Exactly, they didn't. That's the point. That's the point I'm getting at. Is like, why would they not care?
They'd like rather build like 12 nukes and nuke the moon than like actually solve the equation.
I don't think they built 12 nukes for the moon. I think they just had 12 nukes or whatever.
because America.
Yeah,
But,
'cause
like,
America, but, like,
yeah.
I'm
But,
pretty
like,
sure. Yeah.
But
Okay, I
NASA
have a-
wouldn't just like be like, okay, this is confidential. Giant alien living in moon. Just no one has to know about that. We'll just chalk this up as
I
guy
have
did
a-
bad.
Yeah,
I have a fun
and then
question.
crash the whole satellite.
Yeah, we'll try and create an EMP, but like if we run into budget cuts, which we did, we're not gonna do anything about
Bro,
it because
they should have just used the EMP for
Whatever.
Modern Warfare
But
2.
why?
So
why?
much more
But see,
effective.
if the government knew, why would they run into budget cuts? The whole damn budget of
That's
the military
the
should be
Why
cut.
would
point
the whole
of the
budget of
question.
the whole world would go
Not
into
even that.
it?
You tell the maybe not the whole world,
yeah,
but
what-
your allies, they
Oh,
would
yeah.
know.
Would
The
you-
whole budget of
would be
NATO.
working on this shit.
Oh
right
my
now.
goodness.
Like,
would you? Okay, so here's another like question. I didn't write this one down, but would
Okay.
you tell the whole world that this happened, or would
Yes.
you cover it up? Because if
No.
you saw what happened when the whole world found out, is everybody went into panic.
Right, well, okay.
I would
And,
probably
for good
tell
reason. For good reason.
every-
I'm
Yeah,
not,
you
I'm
don't
not
have to
defending it.
tell the whole world. You don't have to like. There's a difference between keeping it between governments and keeping it between everyone. Because if you just tell the citizens like anything straight up, they're going to go into panic. You
That-
saw what COVID did with toilet paper.
Yeah.
That is, and imagine that times 80. We're
Yeah.
boned. So you can't just tell people like
Which was
the
shown
moon's
in this
falling.
movie.
Houseman did
Yeah,
kind of tweet
wait-
about it.
Yeah, the guy's just like, oh my god,
Oh my
guys,
god, when they posted on
I'm correct.
Twitter, dude,
I'm correct.
Everyone lost
and
their
then there's
minds.
like, yeah,
But like 10 years ago, like would
and
you
then
have
they
told, like
they somehow believed him. Anyways,
yeah,
was the
that
thing.
didn't really make
It's like
any
if I
sense.
went on Twitter and be like, "Hey guys, the killer clowns are back."
I'm pretty sure there's a
Everyone's just
dude.
like, "Oh my
I'm
gosh,
pretty
he's
sure there's
right."
somebody out there on Twitter every single day who's tweeting about, "Hey, the moon's gonna fall," or "Hey, the Earth is flat."
Finally, Moonfall's trending.
Yeah.
Finally, yes.
So
I have a fun question for you guys.
I don't want to hear it.
What would you rather have, Brian and Jacinda make out, or Brian's son and Sony make out?
okay, next question.
What? I don't even care enough about this movie to know who those.
Brian's
characters
son and
are.
Sony are the same person.
So like,
Yes.
you want Brian's son and Sony then?
What are you talking about? All right. Here's the second. What would you do scenario? It's pretty.
Okay,
It's
let's
easier. It's
hear it,
much
let's hear
easier
it.
than this one. Okay, than the one I just said before. All right.
Was it much?
Well, the
easier?
last
'Cause I
one you
feel
said
like
was
the last one was
garbage.
overwhelming. To the
Yeah, this
other
is much
side.
easier than the last one.
Oh, yeah?
Hopefully, I mean, there's Nick here who's
I'm sorry.
special. But
Yeah, he's horizontal.
so here you are. Here's your situation.
Okay.
You were driving away from a giant tsunami,
Oh fuck yeah.
but you see that a spaceship is launching. Would you A, keep driving? B, get out and watch the
Whoa!
spaceship? Or C, here's C,
You go, man.
Here's C.
Oh shit!
Option C is keep driving and watch the spaceship in the rear view mirror.
Well, you see me
What would
as
you
a
do?
very irresponsible driver. Of
course.
I would obviously go with option C and keep driving whilst watching the gravity wave and the rocket launch at the same time, double crossing my
What an
eyes
alpha.
in both directions, so I see both at the same time.
Or just glancing
and I
in the
just
rear
get
See,
mirror.
me being the beta
biggest
male
chub
that I
ever.
am.
And then I drive off and swerve off the road and have a horrible car crash down the side of a cliff.
Oh well, at least it would
Interesting.
end. At least it would end.
But at least
That
I saw
side,
that epic moment.
At least it would end
Captured with my
the
own
rest of that
eyes.
story. Huh? See, the only reason I'd say get out of the car and watch the tsunami is so that damn awful side story would just end there.
Yeah.
With them dying.
But no, I'd probably go with option A and just keep driving.
But yeah, I mean, real life me, being the beta male that I am, I'd also probably get out of the car and watch it because I just want the tsunami to hit me.
Not only just get out of the car, but make everybody else get out of the car to watch it
Guys,
with
get
you.
out of the car and watch this movie.
Hey guys, let's watch the spaceship go off.
Guys-
and I'm just like, no.
Guys,
this
you
is so
won't
sick.
believe this shit. Get out of the car right now.
We already saw it, man. We're trying to leave.
Like if I was in that situation, I don't care there's a spaceship going off. I'm driving. Or I'm making whoever's driving drive.
I mean,
Hey, guys,
already.
remember that time where we were sitting on this compound with all those people building that spaceship and making it go off, and then they told them all to go home?
Yeah, like
Guess what's happening right now? Like, let's get out and watch.
No, but dude, like nothing interests me anyways as it is. Like I would not be interested in seeing a giant gravity
now,
wave in a rocket
Maybe
go
if
off.
you're just
And maybe
like
if it was
oblivious, right?
maybe
Say
if-
you're oblivious.
yeah.
And you get out and you're watching it go off because you have loved ones in it and you know that you want to make sure they don't just crash and die.
But
I don't know what
me
you're gonna do,
watching that
though.
isn't gonna
But
change
you're
anything about
watching,
it.
yeah, I know. But just say you're just
Do thoughts and
obliviously dumb,
prayers.
right? Just say that you're obliviously dumb.
Yeah.
And you're watching it, and then you just see the helicopter get engulfed, right? The Play-Doh helicopter just goes bye-bye. It just disappears. Wouldn't that just trigger something in your head to be like, oh shit, that's gonna be me in about 5
That
seconds?
was real. That just happened. All those people just died.
I think that's at the moment where they were like, oh, get back in the car.
Guys,
But no, me in
Car.
that situation, if it's not like Andrew Garfield and Chris Pratt making out, I'm dipping, bro. I'm
What
getting
is
the
up with
stepping.
you and
Agreed.
wanting actors to just make out? What is this?
Don't judge me.
Also,
okay?
why Chris Pratt and Andrew Garfield? Where did that come
I like
from?
Andrew Garfield and
I
Chris
feel
Pratt.
like you've thought about this one before.
I think
Hey,
he has.
I have my fantasies. You have your fantasies. Okay, let's move on.
Star-Lord and Spider-Man make a good couple.
Yeah.
Nick has
I
a
ship
note
it.
section of actors he wants making out.
I have a whole like.
I mean, who doesn't?
I have a whole thing on my notes on my phone.
He's probably has an entire like book written on
I've
it.
written fan arts about it.
Actors who would look
Scholarly,
good kissing.
scholarly articles written on it.
Scholarly articles posted on databases.
So
Yeah, you can find
I have
them.
one more thing.
Oh, great.
So, like I said, I've said this like a million times, but I'm no astrophysicist, right? But
Oh, God.
in the end, when the
Gosh,
moon
no.
is literally like freaking like this close to Earth, like it's like already
Wouldn't
they're both
Earth's
in their like
pull be pulling it.
yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure it would just continue to crash in the Earth, even if they like killed the evil like or took the evil like AI away from it. Like I don't think unless the Dyson spear thing is like thrusting the moon away from it, which wasn't explained at all or even implied at all. Wouldn't the moon just continue to like crash into Earth because like both gravities are pulling each other into each other?
Moonfall.
Moon do be
It
falling.
did say that when the AI was away from the dwarf star, that it was like correcting itself.
Maybe in the beginning that made sense. Maybe I don't even know, but maybe. But like, how does that make sense? I mean, I guess unless like the ancient civilization like AI living inside of it was actually steering the thing, which that's probably the most plausible answer here. But
They just used the star as an engine.
that's exactly what it was. I'm pretty sure. But like, so I mean, I guess that does make sense because like, how would that moon have gotten there in the first place? Like, it would have had to have traveled. But
Yeah.
who knows, man?
Wait,
who knows?
I'm starting to think, why? What is this movie? Well, so like,
Hey, I liked it.
this, shut up. So like this, like the moon, right? It's a moon.
Yeah.
And they put
Well,
like
it's a
there's
megastructure.
there's a covering over it, right? Which is the moon's crust,
Yeah.
crusty.
Cookie cake, yeah.
So it like, what is its purpose? It makes power and it grows like plants and shit in it, right?
Well, I mean,
Straight up a halo ring.
it's a
what
moon.
is it?
It
Like,
cultivate-
that's
it's
what
like
it does,
it's like the
right?
Traveler.
No,
from
inside of
Destiny.
it, the ring's inside of it
Like, yeah, what is its purpose? What does it do?
to keep the AI system running inside of there.
But what does the AI system do?
What does the moon do
Wait for
humanity?
wait for humans to contact it, I guess.
Wait for Moonfall 2! Jesus,
It's
sorry.
It's actually probably not going to be Moonfall 2. It's going to be
Yeah,
Sunfall.
It's probably not going to come out because this movie's probably going to do shit. But, I mean, prove me wrong.
No, it's
mean-
gonna be called Moon Rises.
Hey, people like me, I would go back and watch it.
Independence Day 3.
Watch the next one.
Yeah, I mean, but like, so the ancient humans, right, sent it to Earth. For what reason?
No, it created Earth.
It
It
did.
created the Earth.
Yeah, it helped create the Earth, and it was doing it in
Right.
search of, more advanced human beings like
It's like-
itself.
For sustainable life.
Well, actually, because
Without a moon
remember the scene
structure
where they
like that.
planted the seeds inside of Earth to like grow humans, to make humans. Like they put DNA inside of the Earth to like make
they?
mammals. Yeah, yeah. They explained that.
Honestly, I think I might have fell asleep at that. That's why I'm not remembering.
There were points in
any
this
of
movie
so
where
the-
I was just like, I'm this close from just walking out.
It was so
I
stupid.
wasn't.
I'm this
that.
close.
I honestly
enjoyed
think
it. I thought it was cool.
asleep for that part. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, they explained it like the moon like kind of helped create the Earth and like the atmosphere and
Okay.
stuff, and then
'Cause
they.
I do honestly. Yep, that's
I
exactly
think that-
where
I-
I passed out.
I
Because
think that's where it's.
I
its
remember
purpose
it
is.
talking about the Earth and it showing like its lava state, and then it goes black until the kid's under the tree. Like honestly, that's just where I blacked out at. I don't remember anything during that.
I admire your ability to drone out to such loud like noise.
Oh, I didn't drone out. I was probably literally dead for a couple seconds.
I mean, the only movie I fell asleep for ever really in movie theaters was Space Jam 2. So
yeah, that was the
because that
second
was
time.
so incredibly boring.
Well, you gotta remember the day before I literally went to an amusement park. I went to Disney, so I was
Yeah.
quite tired the next day. But yeah, that's the only time I ever fell asleep. That and in the Bond movie, but that was because it was literally like fucking 1 o'clock. in the
Yeah,
morning.
it really was.
Oh,
The Bond
yeah.
movie was
I saw
good. It
that.
was just
It was a good
late.
movie, yeah.
I was struggling.
It was yeah.
Super
It was just
late.
really freaking late.
Super late.
But that's all I have, guys.
Freaking
No, I wanna
he
cry.
had Jonas Brothers tattooed on his arm.
Who?
His son.
That was a joke.
I think it was
know,
a
that
joke.
That was a joke.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a funny scene. She was like,
That was
"Ha,
hilarious.
I got you. You
much-
should have seen the look on your
I
face."
feel like this should have been a Netflix movie, and I don't know why.
It's too big of a budget to, with all the cinematography and stuff
I
they
don't
had
know.
in there.
Yeah,
I
but
don't,
it
I don't
was so bad.
Honestly, does all that CGI cost
Oh,
more money
one
than
thing-
actually owning the practical effects, like owning actual planes and cars?
One
and
thing
all
I
that?
didn't kind of like. One thing I just thought was weird.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
No, hang on, real quick, before we go on to a new point. I stand corrected. Red Notice, remember that movie?
yeah.
Its budget was $200 million.
Yeah,
Oh my
Right? We
God.
discussed this in the
Are you
this on the
serious?
podcast. Yeah.
because they had 3 big hitting actors.
Yeah. So $200 million was
yeah,
the
so,
Red
like-
Notice's budget.
Plus all the cars. And
This movie's
guns.
budget was $140 million. So this definitely could have been a
Because
Netflix
half
movie.
the shit was fake, Jack. It was all made by a computer.
Yeah, but like it's
That
not
takes
just the
time.
computer.
Save
It's like
money.
it's a person behind the computer
I
who's
know.
actually designing it.
They
and
pay
that-
the person. they
yeah,
don't
like
pay
that's an incredible skill.
millions and millions of dollars to wreck all these like sets and vehicles and blah blah blah.
True,
You know.
true. So
So
I mean, there you
what
go.
do I know though? I don't do set design.
So like, you know, when they go up and they're attempting to lure out the alien, and it comes out, and then it finds them because the
device is on.
the device is
And the
on
phone.
and the phone's on, and he like, first of all, he literally destroys the phone in like 2 taps, which like I guess if it's like an Apple, it makes sense.
Well, he smashed it. I don't know.
Okay, but that wasn't really what I was going for. But the other thing, right? He destroys it, but then it somehow still like comes on and works afterwards.
I don't know, man. I don't.
yeah, that was a little patchy, but
So
I don't
like
understand technology.
it was just off for a certain amount of time, and he got to turn back on.
guess so.
I bet.
I guess
Maybe the
movie.
moon repaired it or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the moon.
2000. The movie 2012 had a higher budget than this movie.
Did it? Well,
$200 million.
I would imagine.
You could
so.
tell by how it looked.
Yeah, it did. It did look really good, especially for its time. I don't know how well it holds up because I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember it looking really good.
I remember not liking it all that much.
I didn't
but
like
I probably would like it over
didn't
this
like it?
movie.
When I
I
watched
don't know.
it,
I mean, I watched it as
I
a
don't
kid.
know.
I thought it was over bombastic, which it was an apocalypse
one thing
movie.
I do remember is that the actors were actually good. I think the only good actor in this movie was the main character, which was the guy.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, I think he was the only good actor.
I like
Because
his
Patrick
acting.
Wilson is Patrick Wilson, regardless of what movie he's in. So he's always going to be
So
pretty solid.
you guys want to dive into these ratings?
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
We're
You
doing
wanted to
the,
do the complex rating system.
Yeah, I already have it all set up.
Okay.
Action. One category is action. Second category is the character / acting. Third category is the story. But the first category, action, I'm gonna add on film, pretty much, like the cinematography to it.
Like the whole CG fuckfest.
Yeah, like so action / film.
Okay.
So who wants to go first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
No, we're not doing
Vicky?
that. Vicky, would you like to go?
Sure.
All right. So what do you rate the action / the visuals? So they go a little bit
Really,
hand in hand.
really think about this one.
Was there any action in this movie? Like, what was the action in this movie?
I don't know, like
I
the
guess-
chase, the pieces of moon crashing down to Earth, explosions, and then the cinematography, which is like all the pictures and like basically just the whole all the CGI
I think-
shots.
Oh God, I
Okay.
forgot about the chase. That was so dumb.
That was
Okay.
so
That was so
bad.
dumb.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, there was way too much stuff going on in this movie. Like, I was so, like,
That's like with every
Wouldn't be
movie.
wrong in saying that.
not every movie. This one just had too much. Like, too many explosion and, like, too many, like, things going on.
There was like this guy, and then there was like this other guy, and it's like they just
So,
got too.
What do you
too
give it,
much.
Vicky?
A
I
5.
started making up
You
for
give
that
me
A
reason.
5.
All right. What about the characters and the acting?
Sorry.
I'll give that a
Don't-
5 as well.
A
Don't-
5.
Don't let anyone sway you.
And then what about the best one of them all, the story?
Oh, fuck.
Oh gosh.
That one is so bad. I'm gonna give that a 4.
Oh my God.
Not that much worse than the other two, apparently.
I'm pretty sure it's like what Space Jam got.
Probably.
All right. Do you have anything else you wanted to add on?
No.
All right,
I cried.
Nick, you're
twice.
going next.
So, action and visuals.
Yep.
Usually when I give my numbers, I try to grade it based off like actual grading system. So I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay.
The action. There's action, but overall, as a whole, it just fails. It's like there
We're
were
doing
some
it out of
points
10,
where
right?
there was so much CG. Yeah, out of 10.
Okay.
But there were so many points where the CG was so like saturated and intense. Like I just couldn't tell what I was looking at. I really couldn't.
That's what I'm
Understandable.
saying.
And like the car scene, dude, why is everything in this movie looked like it was made out of Play-Doh? What's up with that? Like
All right.
5 out of 10.
All right.
That's
What about
probably the best attribute of this rating. What's next?
characters and the acting.
Characters.
And the acting.
You guys are
And
like
the acting. I give
literally
the
looks like
acting
Play-Doh.
I give the acting 4.
4.
I think the only points given to acting are earned by Patrick Wilson. Everybody else just brings it down.
Okay.
The general guy, Sony, the son, no, I take that back. Patrick Wilson and the guy who plays Houseman. They're both kind of solid on acting. I really liked Houseman. Everyone else just sucks. So
Okay.
4 out of 10.
And then finally the story.
Story.
Cat.
Where do I put the cat? Where
The
does the
best.
cat fall in the rating?
The best actor.
Best actor? Okay, fine. 5 out of 10 for acting.
You didn't change your score. Keep going.
Thank you for
What
that.
about the story?
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right. Zach?
I need a cinder block so I can bash my head in. Dude, like, I okay. I'm sorry for talking on your time. I apologize.
How dare you?
I do. I actually do sincerely apologize. But after you hearing just like it actually looks like the whole set is made of Play-Doh, I give it a 5.
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
That
It's bad.
So wait,
It's
are
like
you
it's
giving it- Are you giving it a
inexcusable.
5 out of 10 or?
no.
Oh, okay. I'm
No, but it's
tripping.
like I don't know. I feel like you guys rate it way too high for what like you're saying, just
I
in
don't
my
know.
opinion. Because like
Like it had.
like
I will admit
I
there
will
were
say
some standout
a 5
points.
is 50 and that's a fail.
There were some standout
but
points
you've
where I was
got
like, wow,
50%.
wow, the CG here is amazing and it looks good. But then there were just scenes with the car chase and the helicopters and all the vehicles sucked. I'm like, there were even some scenes where people were just straight up CG.
Yeah.
What the
I
fuck?
do agree with that,
you know
yeah.
what, Jack? I'm sorry. Can you go back to action and CG and change my 5 to a 4, please?
Wow, it's like it was what it was before.
It was? Did I give it a
Because
4?
didn't you change the characters and the acting to a 5?
Yeah.
From a 4, and then you
Yeah.
just changed this from
You
a
know
4.
what? Change that one to a 4 again.
No,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
leaving it. All right, Zach.
I don't know. I
What
hate
is your
this movie.
action slash visuals?
9.
Actually,
No. So action / visuals. Okay. So this is the part of the movie that actually had some kind of some oomph there, right? So if I had to like give this movie anything, it's the visuals, and then partly acting.
Mhm.
So I give the visuals like a 4.
Yeah. Like
Right.
it fails hard,
It
but at
fails
least it
hard,
doesn't
But there are
completely
scenes
dunk.
that you could tell it just dumped its whole budget on.
Oh yeah, and they just
So it's
didn't.
like-
They did not.
Is that necessarily a good thing? No, because it makes the overall movie crap.
They did not proportion their
But-
budget properly.
At least it has like some scenes where like it looks cool and you're like, okay, cool. So
All
what's the next one?
the characters and the acting.
Characters and acting. Oh boy, oh boy. So like
It's like this list just goes like worse and worse.
I know it really does, but it's like so. My point on the acting is like the characters. I feel like in an apocalyptic movie, right? You gotta somewhat care about them, and there was a whole subplot where I did not care about a single character.
Yeah.
They could have literally drove off the road and died, and I literally would not have cared. I would have
would
been
not have
like, can the
changed a
next scene
shade.
come sooner?
Show me more helicopters going into gravity waves, please.
The one, what's his name? The
Which one?
General?
science guy,
Oh, the science guy Houseman.
JC?
Houseman.
Yeah, Houseman.
He had some funny lines here and there. I thought most of his stuff was kind of really cheesy, especially like with his whole plot in the story. I thought it was really cheesy.
You know who he reminds me of now that you mention it? He reminds me of the crazy podcast guy from the Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
The Godzilla vs Kong.
I don't
Yep.
watch that one.
You
Oh,
watched
you
that?
didn't.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I was
Dude,
not there for
he's like,
stupid.
bro, now
big
that you
monkey
mention it-
versus stupid fucking lizard.
They're like they're
Wasn't
one
that-
and the same.
Before my time.
They are one and the same.
Ancient
and it makes me
media
upset.
mix.
Yeah. One of our best videos.
If you want that on a shirt,
Stupid fucking
Like this
lizards.
video.
Probably gonna go on a shirt because it's so iconic. But go
It is
ahead. What
pretty
about
iconic.
what's your rating for characters and acting?
oh god, like a 3,
3.
I guess. Yeah, because I did like the main actor a lot.
Yeah, Brian.
I thought he did really well. He was just a really likable guy, and
Mm-hmm.
I would have actually cared if he died.
Agreed.
That's the only character I cared about. When they sent the other guy, I mean, I'm sure someone else will disagree with me here, but when they sent off Houseman, is his name,
Mm-hmm.
to just die,
Yeah.
I just didn't care.
No, me neither.
I just did not care.
Yeah.
And then he didn't end up dying. I mean, I guess he technically died, but then he like became an AI at the end,
yeah,
which completely makes his death
Bro, what
not
the fuck was that?
happen or like just not like matter at all.
Yeah, it was very
So-
nonsensical.
So they were like, we
There you
contracted
go.
your DNA. We contracted your DNA, so you're now part of the. You're now part of the moon.
See now,
Where did they get
I
the
think it would have
DNA
been
from?
It
exactly.
was,
But, like,
it was his conscience.
Oh, they got his
maybe they like
conscience,
downloaded
yeah.
it while he was sleeping, or I don't know. It's futuristic.
They
ancient
extracted
yeah,
technology.
don't try to make
They
sense of that
extracted
because
some
it
of his
doesn't.
sperm.
It's just
not
sci-fi right
supposed to.
there.
All right.
But like, what I thought would have been really funny, like you know how they had the mom talking to him, like the AI was the mom talking to him.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been like hilarious if like they had the cat. As the
Yeah,
AI
that's what I thought was
talking
gonna
to him.
happen.
Like, hello, Houseman. It is I. What was his name? Like,
Something Aldrin or something like that. It was
like Fuzz Aldrin.
Fuzz Aldrin, yeah.
Is Fuzz Aldrin here?
That was funny though. I like
Fuzz?
that name.
Yeah,
clever.
it was pretty.
Sounds
funny.
like
So like
the
that's
name
what I'm
of a
saying. Like
planet
it
out of Star
had some
Wars.
funny parts, but I think overall it was really cheesy.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's it. Every other actor in this movie, I just didn't care about at all. They could have died. Like the military dad did not care. He just died. It was like okay, that happened. Oh, this movie is terrible.
Yeah.
Alright, story.
It's terrible.
Story.
Story.
Can I literally give it a 0?
You can, yeah.
I guess I will give it a 1 for wow, congrats, you made something.
You actually
Congrats,
put
you did
words
what
on
a
a paper
toddler
and
could
submitted
do,
it.
and you did something. And you actually got someone to say, this is a good idea, here's some money, go make it. You got someone
Not
to do
just
that.
money.
Congratulations.
I don't think I've ever
100,
seen
like
Zach
50
so
million of that
furious about
money.
a movie.
I hope you made your money back. I sincerely do. Retire. Director, retire. Take that money and just retire. You'll do the
Cut your
world a favor.
losses. Start up a business in the
So
food industry.
critical.
Up to you, Jack.
So,
now.
so critical. I'm sorry. I'm
All right.
a critic.
Finally, I'm gonna shed some light on this. These terrible ratings they're giving.
Shed some light.
Yeah, because
Yeah, what?
If
I
you
mean, you
shed
guys
some
are
light on a
definitely-
dead rose, it ain't gonna get any better.
you guys
It's
are
still a dead rose.
entitled to your own opinions and what you thought about this movie, but mine is very much different. I don't know.
Stay true to your word, Jack.
I'm staying
very
very true to my
admirable.
word. I'm not
What do you
saying
give it?
I'm not only saying these things because I want to be opposite of you guys. I'm just saying these things because
This is what you
know,
believe,
I genuinely
And we
believe
love you
in
for
these.
that.
So
What did you give it?
So the action / the cinematics and the visuals, I mean, that's pretty much like the one great thing that I thought about this movie. Like I thought the action of the freaking the moon crashing down onto Earth and like all the it could have been a little bit more, would have been better, but like they still did a really good job of showing like everything shattered to pieces and like the the meteors falling and like blowing up mountains and stuff like that. Like that's the stuff I want to see. And then like the cool shots of like the universe and like the flashback to the old ancient civilization and like the halo rings and stuff like that.
Bro,
Wasn't really that original at all, but like, hey, whatever. And then Vicky, you were even like,
Bro.
hey, I remember this from a different movie. It was like Elysium. Is that?
They-
Oh my
they
god!
somehow-
Literally, it was like copy and paste.
I mean,
Bro.
it was a very washed up idea, but that doesn't fall in the category of action.
They somehow
/
ripped off
cinematics.
Bungie twice in this movie. The Halo rings and the Traveler. The moon is the Traveler from Destiny.
So my rating for the action and the visuals is going to be like an 8 because I like it.
Holy
An
crap!
8!
Are you
Yes.
serious?
Dude,
Yes.
I'm 20. I'm gonna need a pacemaker. Holy shit.
It's
Holy.
fine. It's fine.
Whoa.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's oh god, it's your opinion, and I'm so happy for you.
Zach, stay strong.
I'm so
Sorry
happy
you didn't
for
like
you.
it. All right, so for the characters and the acting, a lot of it was wishy-washy. Like the,
Yeah.
I thought the main three though, like JC, Brian, and Jocinda, I thought their acting was pretty good. Like it wasn't subpar like at all. Like I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty decent. Like maybe some of the other people's acting was like a little like questionable and like hey, this kind of sucks. So
Yeah.
for the characters, like pretty much everybody else from the original, like the three trio was kind of bad. So for the characters and the acting, I'm gonna give it like a 6.
Okay, that's fair.
But just
Um,
like the whole time you're explaining, like saying these good things about them acting, I could just think about the guy standing in front of the open doors with like
was thinking
waves
of
of
that just
tsunami
now.
about to come.
But
in.
that's not
he's just
No.
like
I
That's-
was just thinking about that.
that doesn't fall into that category. Though.
Yes,
That's-
it does.
No, it doesn't. That's the
That's
that's the
acting.
That's
story writing.
acting.
Okay, they didn't
It was
tell.
so weird.
Okay, he's not that person is not making the decision to stand in front of the tsunami thing. It's
I
the
guess you're
story it's the story writers, the director, who that's what they placed him. They wanted him to stand there and get crashed over by a wave, so all that scene would happen. Exactly.
I can swim.
Yeah, exactly. That's the scene.
I'm a virgin.
So that's not
do
the
this.
I
that's not
loved
the
it
acting problem.
when Casey said ludicrous speed.
Don't even remember that. So
Of course you don't.
and then finally the story, like which
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did.
So
Reference to
That's a
Spaceballs. Let's
Spaceballs
go.
the story did have like a lot of rip-offs from Bungie and like Halo. and
there was
that.
nothing original about this movie other than Moonfall.
They even
I
ripped
mean,
off
they
the
haven't
moon.
made a movie about the moon falling, so I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Still have it.
Yeah. So for the story, I'm gonna give it like a 4.
Okay, that's fair.
Look at Zach.
I feel like
So
my
we
throat
have
was
our
in
final
pieces.
rating, and before we give our final rating, I'm gonna give some honorable mentions to the other
Wait, I'm
ratings
sorry,
that are out
I'm
there.
sorry. Can you remind me what you gave the action again?
An 8.
Okay, that's fine. It's fine.
All right,
Honorable
so
mentions to what?
to the other ratings out there.
Oh.
So
I thought
I
you were gonna give an honorable mentions to the movies we could have fucking watched instead of this one.
I'm glad we did this movie.
I'm
No, I
So-
have two. I had two.
I wanna see-
IMDb gave it a 5.3 out of 10. 53, pretty
Oh
much.
man.
now keep in mind these aren't like set in stone yet because the movie did just come out like
Right.
literally
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
It does fluctuate. So
So-
far, February 4th is when we watched this movie. Literally the day it came out. Well, I guess the day after because it premiered yesterday. IMDb so far is a 5.3 out of 10. Metacritic is 36%, and Rotten Tomatoes is at a 45%. So
Really?
Damn, they
Yep.
went up.
yeah,
Well, because
'Cause there's still more people
was
watching.
just the critic.
No, between that
Oh.
60% and 40%, I think that's the sweet spot for this one.
Can we
Actually,
can
no,
we
I'd say like
look at Rotten
50%,
Tomatoes
30%.
closer? Can we see what was the audience score and
yeah.
what was
I'll
the
tell you in 2 seconds.
because there's usually a
So
pretty big difference.
the tomato meter was a 42%. So that was from the critics.
So okay.
And then the audience score was a 68.
Holy crap.
So there's people out there like me, I'm not the only one who thinks that way. And then it says 78% of Google users. I don't even know how accurate that is, but whatever.
That's not accurate. No way.
It says 68%.
Or
dude,
78%
these
of
are
Google
the
users
people.
like.
These got to be the people.
But it's not
who
like
the Eternals.
it's not a rating. Or my bad, 77% of Google users like this movie. So don't know really what that means at all. But
I think literally anyone could.
I don't know what
yes or
falls
no.
under like liked the movie. I don't know what like qualifies
Yeah,
as being
it's
liked.
like you like the movie, but
Yeah.
by how much?
Exactly.
And how
But-
much did you not like
That's
the
true.
movie?
All right, so MediaMix's final rating for Moonfall, the movie by Lionsgate and some director.
Lionsgate.
Yeah.
Is my Lionsgate?
Yeah.
Yes. It's by Lionsgate. That's where I saw all the stuff from.
Clear disappointment.
Is a 4.3 out of 10.
Holy shit.
Man, is that worse than Eternals?
That's not bad. Not gonna lie.
No, it's not. It can't be.
I think it is.
It can't
I
be.
think
Like
so.
it sounds about right.
think
Like I
Eternals
would
got, like,
rather
really
watch
well.
Eternals over this movie.
Yeah.
I can go both ways. I'd watch this one again in the future.
You
No,
know what's
it's
really,
like,
you know what's
this is-
really funny though?
I think this movie.
I
Is a
wouldn't
once in a
mind
lifetime.
sitting down and watching this movie again with like my mom. Just so I could shit on it all over again. And I'd be
No.
like, that's stupid. My
Shit on it
mom
with
would be
your
like,
mom.
what the hell, man? Like,
Wait for it to come out on Netflix.
If I could somehow like sit down and rewatch this movie with my dad, then maybe. But as far as it goes, this is like a once in a lifetime like experience. Watch this movie once for the sole purpose of just educating yourself.
Literally, just,
educate yourself
like-
on
This
what
movie is
is
why I
a
hate space
bad
movies.
movie, and then never touch it again.
take like 5 Xanax and then walk in. You might have a good time. I mean,
Don't
like,
do that. We do not condone the activity of drugs.
I didn't say do it. I said if you want to have a good time, then it's probably the best way to have a good time while watching this movie.
Don't do
It's the
that.
only good time you'll have to watch.
All right,
the
everybody.
movie.
Don't do Xanax.
Thank you so much for tuning into our very humble podcast.
Humble.
It
It was very humble.
Very
we gave
critical.
Moonfall 4.
We humbled
This,
ourselves.
it would have been
Moonfall.
lower if the other Nick was here too, to be honest.
no.
But
I'm sure.
I wish
it
he
would've
was here.
been.
It would've
Yeah.
been so
God,
fun.
the first time we miss him.
um, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and watching our video or listening to our podcast. If you're on Apple, Google Podcast, or Spotify.
If you want to listen to, if you don't want to look at our ugly faces like mine, you can go over to those.
Yeah, go over to any of those platforms. We're on there. Just search up MediaMix.
Yeah.
And there's links in the description to it. There's links on our Instagram. There's links everywhere to it. Or just look up MediaMix.
Yeah, you know.
If you want us to advertise something, we're free to listen to what you want to do. So, we're, you know.
Email us for business inquiries.
Which is on our YouTube in case you're ever curious.
MediaMix at, what was it? .com. I don't even know our own email.
What's our channel?
But it's something official media.
Okay, and then if you want to hear more on our YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Leave a comment of what you thought about this movie, if you liked it or if you thought it was crap like the rest of them. Let us know, or if we missed anything, because we made a lot of things that we said a lot of things we thought was factual that probably may not be. Go ahead and correct us in the comments. Just let us know anything.
If you're an astronaut or an aerospace engineer, could you comment in the comment sections explaining the fundamental rules of aerodynamics and gravity?
Or you can if you really want to. Hit our post notifications, like the video, please. Without further ado, we're gonna get out of here because it's pretty late at night.
It's Betty by time.
Maybe the next movie will be better.
Probably will.
Please, God,
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Bye-bye.